we fought a lot about this money.
It was not funny. We were fighting because you have to explain to him about the retouch, the treatment. Up to date, he doesn't know the difference. So there is this day I'll ask for 800. This day I'll ask for 300 because it's only treatment. But for the retouch part, he's like, how? 800? The other day you used 300. So he's not able to understand what is going on. So you go and braid, and today it's 1200 because maybe they have washed, they have treated the hair. So you have to explain to him, and he's there thinking I'm being extravagant. And then he can't understand. I think for him, we had now to keep fighting over it. I told him this is how hairs are made. It's period. And interestingly, much later, he would even give me his ATM. Just go make your hair. I don't even want to hear about the treatment, the retouch, the what. He doesn't understand. And then you'd go and make your nails, make your face, and spend like 5,000, and come back and he's not even saying anything. So I think that day he was, I think the first days he was under pressure of there was no money to spend, and so 800 versus the 40 was really a big difference. Maybe he wanted me to shave, I don't know.
Now the irony of all this is that whenever she made the hair, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
But the cost to get it is what I could not be able to reconcile. And it reached a point, and I said, well, I love beautiful things, and this is what makes my woman beautiful. Let me give it to her.
Yeah.
Because, and one time I even used to accompany her to the salon just to verify that she's not getting ripped off. And I did 2 trips. I think one trip I went there, I think I dropped her at around 8. I went to town, did some shughlis. I was back around 12. She had told me she would be done by 12. So I was there around 12 so that we can go home. Man, I remember I read a newspaper Nation, including the classified section. And she was being completed around 6:30 or so. And I said, man, I know I love you, but please, I will not go to you in the salon again, to the salon with you again. I mean, that's your area. You go get yourself done.
Yeah.
Once you are done and you are physically out of the building, I will come. But don't tell me you are almost, because the almost can turn between an hour to 4 hours. Because it was really a tough moment. But we made that decision that, look, this is not worth fighting for. When you are going for the salon, you go. Once you are done, I will come and pick you. But ensure when you're done, you're really done. Like, not you're almost. You are actually done. And I said, fine, this is good, and it's fantastic. And I changed. This is one of the things that you say, with time, if you give somebody a chance, they'll be able to appreciate some of these things.
Yeah.
And but with time, we came to understand, that none of us is perfect. If I was to focus on her faults, I will find many of them. If she was to look at a fault in me, she doesn't have to go far. She will tell me, oh, you are not buttoned properly, you are chewing loudly, you are, when you're stirring your cup of tea, you are stirring loudly. I would find a fault. And we decided, no, this one, this is not worth fighting for, because sometimes she'll make food and the food will be cold. And I told her, I want hot food, I want steaming food, And she would take offense when I tell her that the food is cold. And I tell her, I don't have to survive and persevere with cold food. Let me warm it,
Yeah.
And we reach a point, and she understood now, because she used to take offense that I'm looking at her, she's a bad cook. But I told her, that aside, I still need hot food, because also her chapos were another story. Yeah? The chapos used to be quite hard. So there are only 2 options if you want to eat them soft. You eat them immediately they're out of the kitchen, or you have to get some soup and then you have to soak them so that you can actually eat them. Otherwise, you'll have to chew them like biscuits. But I used to encourage her. I mean, they're good, there will be some small improvement. I think she learned from a friend of ours. I think we showed her how to
if I visit your house and you make chapos, I have to get out with a recipe. I go try. It backfires. I talk to girls, can you just give me a recipe for chapos? How do you make it? How do you make your chapatis very soft? And they will tell me, and the way I go make them, they just backfire. until I think some few years later, I remember the recipe I was given, and then I tried again. There you are like, let me just go back to my old recipes and try. And it came out so well. Right now, how are they now?
Very
Come
soft.
on.
You can even eat them 3 days later without having to warm them, without having to do anything on them. And you can even eat 3 or 4 in one go. Now the problem comes is that she has to cook many, because by the time we are ready for eating up to date, all of us, including the children, will have taken 2 each.
And
So by the time the food is
taken 4.
by the time the meal is ready for eating, there's no chapo left. So she has to cater for enough. But these are things that we say, God changes people, and we should give them a chance, because you can imagine if I decided to pick a fight on that,
Yeah.
it would have been bad. But you see, I told her, okay, fine, give it your best, just work hard on it. And there was good results. And some things cannot change. Like one of the things we argued, and up to date 10 years ago we've never agreed on, is the squeezing of the toothpaste. Because she brought that issue, and I told her, this is toothpaste I'm interested in, not the container. So it doesn't matter whether I squeeze it from the front, from the center, or from bottom, as long as I get the toothpaste out. And I gave her an option. If you feel that this is offending you, I will courteously get you another tube. Then you can squeeze it the way you want. Okay? Then I think she decided not to. I don't know whether you still have grudges, but I thought this is not something to spend time.
To find it a new toothpaste. The whole tub is full, but it's squeezed in the front part. If it's halfway, the half part is empty, the other one is full. But then I realized it's my dad who taught us that. Those tubes, if you squeezed from top, it was so hard to reconstruct it, and it comes, because I think it was metal. Nowadays, it's plastic. So I had not realized that, because my dad was very strict. You squeeze from the bottom. And I didn't know why we were squeezing from the bottom. So when I got married, he would just come and squeeze it up from the middle, from the top, and then he goes. And then I discovered I can actually come back and just arrange my toothpaste the way I want, and then I leave it there. But we have, even the son does the same thing, and the daughter. So even now in the house, don't talk about toothpaste.
Margaret and Justice managed to resolve their personality and preference challenges during the first 5 years of marriage. Margaret felt that it was time for her to start running her own bakery business, and this became another trial in their marriage.
I started my business 6 years ago after I got my second born, Hope Wamboi. So the business is actually named after Hope. I wanted a break from my career. Actually, I had just started my career. I was looking for a job, but now the second baby was on the way, so I had to choose who to cater for first. So, and my husband was very busy at that time. He had a firstborn with whom he was born when I was still in school. Business for like 4 years. So and then now you were pushed out of the house by the customers, the orders which were coming. The house could not just contain the orders. Yes.
We discussed this, and we said that now that the first baby came and we were all busy in school, and based on the career that I do, I travel a lot, and at that time I was barely at home, in and out. And when she said that she wanted to stay at home, I said I'm okay with that, but I had a rider for her. I don't want you to stay forever at home. Stay for a short period of time, because also you as a person, you have goals, you have something you need to aspire for. You cannot just be sitting in the home from morning to evening. If you're taking care of the kids, the kid will grow, and when they go to school, what do? You cannot be staying the whole day. So we agreed that she'll stay for a short period of time, and it's during that period that she was staying at home that she decided to start baking cakes. And we were there to sample, and the good thing is that the guys we work with in my workplace were volunteering to be testing these cakes, and we would offer these cakes for free to people. And that also brought a lot of challenge in our marriage, actually, because as the business was growing, is that I'm telling her she needs to manage the business in a certain way. She needs to do her maths, she needs to do her accounts. And I tell her she's a CPA and she cannot maintain books of accounts. And that brought a bit of strain in our marriage because I was here financing the business so that it can pick up. And her, she was just baking and giving out cakes. And at some point, it was very tough. Actually, one time she thought that I really don't love her. And I have no interest in her succeeding. And I'm glad eventually she learned the hard way. And she changed, and we always laugh at home and say God changes people. I thought she could change within the first year, but it took almost 3 years for her to really appreciate the importance of keeping, proper books. I remember one of the days during her baking cakes is that she was baking at home and she had a small shop in town, somewhere in Accra Road. Now what will happen is that she will bake at night, and then in the morning is when she takes the cakes to decorate them in town. Now she was baking with a charcoal oven. Now with the charcoal oven we have to keep the door open, and now it's at night. I cannot sleep her and leave her alone. So I would stay with her until almost 3 a.m. and tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock I'm required to be at my workplace, like I have slept 8 hours. And we start there, and I'll keep her there, and sometimes I'll lie on the couch and wait for her to finish baking all her cakes. Sometimes at 3 a.m., sometimes at 4 a.m., and then we go sleep for 2 hours. Then we wake up and we go to work. I drop her in town and she goes to take her cakes. And it was very interesting. Sometimes when we look back, we laugh at it because one time I thought I could support her by mixing the eggs and the bluebird and the flour. And I did one time. I was doing about 70 eggs, and I said, this is not my area. You cook, you do everything. I can package for you, I can deliver it, but this mixing of eggs, it's not my area. It's not my area. And I'm glad eventually she agreed to that. First she thought that I'm not supporting her, but I told her I think that's not I am not having chemistry for that, and don't measure my love for you with my ability to mix eggs and break, and so on. But I could deliver, I could go pick for you the eggs, whatever you require, I'll go buy, bring it. I'll run the errands for you. But the whole mixing, that's your baby, just handle it. I will give you all the moral support you require. For products like cake, if somebody wants a cake today at 10, it's today at 10. You cannot tell the person, okay, can we do it tomorrow? No, the function is today.
Time-based,
so it is time-based, so it has to be done today. It's not like my work where we can say, okay, fine, we've done our best today, we can continue tomorrow. Normally when we're with her, her phone rarely goes silent, and sometimes we have to even ask her to put her forward to the office because you're with her and, hello, she'll be talking, is that a black forest, 1 kilo? Okay, what do we write? It's just cakes. And even sometimes we went for a holiday, and I had to tell her to switch off her phone because we're in holiday. Don't order cakes. Don't receive any order. We don't want to discuss cakes. It's just us. Let's have fun. And then after that, once you're back, you can continue with your cakes. And looking back, we say we have grown, we have matured. We have learned, in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 tells you, love protects. And one of the things we decided is that whatever thing bad my wife can do, I will never badmouth her on my friends. And also the children have come in. The children bring a lot of dynamics. They require more of our time. They require more of our energy. And, sometimes they also require, they're asking us tough questions. The other day, my son, who is 9-year-old, I told him that I'm teaching him about sex. And I thought it's the first time he's hearing about it. So we went down some river and talked to him man to man. And he's here telling me, I tell him, Dad, I tell him this is what sex and when should it be done and all that. And yeah, I know. I read it in the dictionary. And I'm like,
imagine at
I'm thinking,
year
I'm breaking news,
but you're introducing him.
He knows.
He knows.
And I'm trying to explain to him, okay, this is what happens. Puberty, you become a teenager, and he tells me, yes, we were told that. And it dawned on me. I have a teenage in my house. I need to up my game. I need to interact more now. When you're bringing a baby, you are not able to, you forget they have grown faster than you thought, or you think they are too young, but they actually know these things. And this has been now the next level of our challenge in terms of parenting.
Yeah.
Because the children are asking a lot. Now you have a girl, you can't just bump into her bedroom just the way you want before. You have to knock the door and tell her, I'm coming in. If you have to bathe her, you have to decide that, how do I bathe her, up to what age. I think when she reached around 5 years, I decided to stop bathing her, because I could see she's getting conscious that, you are a man, you should not, bathe me. And these are the changes that we are going through, teaching them about, the sexuality and all that. And this is now the new challenge, because our kids are growing. One is 9 and 6, 9 and 6 year old. So they are requiring more of our time. They are asking tough questions, and they're asking us challenging things that we have to be up the game. And my son loves football very, very much. And I am zero, completely zero about football. I only know about World Cup, every 4 years. But he's following up the English Premier Leagues, all the leagues. He can tell you the following morning who scored, how many is the scores, who is the top player,
who moved to which club, how much they are paid.
Yes, what is the contract they have signed.
Coming up,
I will continue to have and to hold you, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
And then,
there was so much prayer for Leon across the globe, from Australia to the US, from China to wherever, from people who I didn't know, they would just post me messages and we didn't know.
later,
We are normally told to bring some ear or some parts or some hair from somebody, your opponent. Now how do you reach your opponent?
with